here's Brody Brazil.
I don't think there's too many things in hockey that everybody agrees on, except for this. Connor Bedard is definitely going to get picked number 1 overall in the 2023 NHL draft. Like, if you feel differently about that, let me know in the comment section down below, but let me tell you right away, you're in the minority here in that thought. I mean, at this point, it's universally understood, accepted, and realized that he is going to go first, but there are some questions still, like, who is this young man? He's only 17 years old. Sure, we know him as a hockey player. Yeah, the exceptional status granted to him, the World Juniors he had, not just 1 year, but twice over now in his career. And also the question looking forward of, like, what franchise will it be that is so lucky to have him? And how much can he individually help transform the future and the foundation of one of those franchises? So there are some questions, and that's why I found an article on him that was so revealing. Actually, the primary subject of it was, right there, his mom, Melanie, who spoke to NHL.com at a coffee shop of all places. So I feel like one of the best grasps we'll get on Connor Bedard is actually through his mother's conversation with NHL.com. Again, he's only 17. He's still emerging, developing, and figuring life out as a young man. But there was this, and this quote is the one that caught everybody's attention, caught everybody's eye. It wasn't first in the article. I don't even know if it's fair for me to start with this, but I also realize that it is the headline. It is kind of the title of this video. So I'll get this one out of the way, and then I'll get into some deeper stuff. She talked about her son's diet, specifically fast food. And believe it or not, quote, he's never had fast food. He will at some point, but he hasn't eaten at McDonald's or anything yet. Wow, Melanie said. I think we all know when we eat well, how you feel, and then when we kind of go off on the rails. I think he's just aware of that feeling. On game days, he'll eat chicken, rice, vegetables, shrimp, mashed yams, chicken, salmon. It's kind of a rotation. A lot of times he'll text me and I'll laugh because I'll get these texts while he's at school that ask, quote, how about chicken tonight? How about quesadillas? And then she responds, sure, let me just whip that up, she says with a hearty laugh. So, like, two main takeaways. Number one, wow, the discipline of a young person to never have fast food. And I mean, look, late after practice, craving something, do you want a taste of this? Like, we all do it. It's kind of part of American life at some point growing up, typically. Oh, wait, he's Canadian. You understand, North American life. Should have said it that way. It's just an interesting thing. It's part of his background. I think it spells out some things, who he is, discipline, all the above, preferences. I don't want to read too much into it, but wow. I did not see that coming. And of course, I'm interested in how long he can hold that off. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like the inevitable of life. How has that not ever happened? I don't think it's an earth changer that we found this out. I also don't hold it against him at all. I just think it's interesting. The article also goes into this, the realization that the Bedard family is having about just how good Connor actually is and has become and likely will be. Quote, when my husband watched Connor when he started playing, he'd be surprised with what he could do with the puck, but I didn't think we ever really thought of it like something special was happening, Melanie said after a sip of her choice selection Cafe Americano. Am I saying that right? Quote, we had agents calling us when he was 10 years old, and we thought there must be something they see, but we just always knew he was crazy about hockey, she said. Even at World Juniors. Was that good? Now, I hope she had a smile on her face when she said that, because the NHL.com article has to go on and say this as context. He set the record for most goals and points by a Canada player in a single World Juniors and came within 6 points, 36 points, 17 goals, 19 assists in 15 games, of tying Hockey Hall of Fame forward Peter Forsberg for most in a career at the World Juniors. 42 total points is what Forsberg once had. So it just kind of hasn't sunk in for their family. And I honestly think that is so cool. I also saw a quote, where Connor recently said, I don't even know that I'm going number one overall. I still feel like I have to prove it. I feel like I have to earn that on an everyday basis. Oh, come on. Let me speak for you. You're already going first overall. But I'll tell you what I do appreciate is that mindset, is that work ethic, is that approach. It's always been that way. That's what's led him to this point and this much of a skill set and this much success. And that's honestly what's going to carry him in through the next phase successfully. There's also this, away from the hockey, the realization that he is a superstar in the making. It went into detail about a 5.5-hour autograph session that he happily did in Regina, where he plays right now. Most kids, 5.5 hours of anything, and he's a kid. Yes, I said it at 17 years old, a young man, but still a kid. So he's getting the true realization and understanding of what it's like to be a star at the next level. Quote, last year, he'd get recognized in some places and sign things, but this year has been really different, especially after World Juniors, Melanie said. Everywhere he goes now, he's handling it because there were some moments the last couple of months where we've had people outside our house. In those moments, Connor might just come inside and say, Mom, can you close the blinds? I think he knows if he starts engaging there, he's not going to have any sort of privacy. I felt that was really mature of him to know that. And I think it's really important that he knew that because you want a place where you can just come home every so often. Look, I think that's tremendously mature. She's right. For a 17-year-old to realize, whoa, this is big, this is overwhelming, this is, kind of a thing that could interfere with me if I really let it get to me. Also, if I don't create a little bit of space for myself, I may never get it back. So I also want to point out, as much as he's a great hockey player, this stuff is going on the side or when we don't see it. It is a different life all of a sudden to be the person, and you're recognized everywhere, and people want something from you all the time, and he's only 17 years old. Yeah, sure, if you're 35 and this is happening, you're in the entertainment business or you're successful at something, okay, fine, but you're older, you're more mature, you're able to handle these things individually on your own. He's 17. As my wife will tell me, you're not even fully, you don't even have a fully functioning brain until you're 25 years old. He's 7-8 years away from that still, right? So pretty mature of him to really understand the start of stardom and how to handle this stuff, because his mom is right. If he starts engaging there, if he does everything every time and kind of gets sucked into it, he's not going to have any sort of privacy. She's absolutely right about that. So there's a look at the Bedard family, mom, dad, his sister, young Connor. It's funny, we'll probably flash back on this picture and maybe even watch this video 10 years from now and go, wow, if we only knew now what we knew back then. And what I'm saying is, he's probably bound to have an unreal, successful NHL career, and probably whatever team gets him is going to be looking back in the mirror 10 years from now and saying, wow, we were so lucky to have him help change what we were trying to do. But I just thought it was interesting, again, and revealing. The article, NHL.com, check it out. It's with Connor's mom, Melanie. All right, that does it for this video. Thumbs up if it provided you some value or entertainment. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.